Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with Jeff Powell MBE in London at the Shard. Jeff, it's good to be in your company.
Sorry, you have to mention Daily Mail.
Oh, sorry, of course.
The MBE is good. You have to mention the Daily Mail.
Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with Jeff Powell MBE of the Daily Mail Sport. Jeff, it's good to be in your company once again, not over
and yours.
The magic of the internet, but in person, of course.
Yes.
Jeff, let's turn our attentions immediately to last weekend. We saw it was builders go big or go home, and it was Derek Chisora who delivered on the fight, on the win against Joe Joyce, and he wasn't fancy to deliver that victory. What was your immediate thoughts having seen Derek? Was it rolling back the years a little bit against Joe?
No, it was rolling back the years in some ways in being a throwback fight.
Right.
I think I said in my piece it was a fight for nothing, with no titles, no belts, no prospect of a world title fight to come for the winner, and yet in a way it was a fight for everything: honor and valor and pride and courage and. In both cases, resilience to taking punches. Now, in that sense, it was extremely exciting. It was a bloodlust in the O2 arena, and you sometimes wonder, should I be enjoying this much? Because it's not a healthy state of affairs for fighters to take that much punishment. Both have showed phenomenal resilience and courage. Both proved they could take a shot, which apparently appears to be Joe Joyce's principal aim in life. He's been telling us for a couple of years now, you know, everybody's telling me, including my missus, that I've got to stop taking shots like this. But he does nothing to even begin to try to avoid them or block them. He just, I can take the big shots and then I'll knock you out. Well, that hasn't worked out very well just lately. And you know, he cannot carry on like this at 38, being hit at will. Because of that mentality and no attempt to avoid punches, Derek landed more punches. But he shipped a lot of punishment himself as well. This guy's 40, he's had bundles of defeats, but he loves it so much, and all this proved really, apart from being a fantastic evening's entertainment, it proved that the thrill of the night, the glitz, the floodlights, the resin, the atmosphere, and the manhood that both have is an addiction which is hard to shake, because I don't think they should be doing this anymore.
What would you say then would be the lay of the land? Because it's more than likely off the back of, even though there were concerns more so for Derek, he's now, I guess, earned a fight from the promoters to say that he can continue, and he said he's earmarked, he wants 50 fights before he really calls it a day. So he's beaten Joyce now. What would you like to see from him? We saw...
Well, we kind of know what he's going to do. He wants...
the White fight.
Seems to want to fight Dillian White, which would probably more likely be in Manchester, from what they're saying, just before Christmas. And then he wants to fight, his big homecoming fight to Zimbabwe. Which presumably would be an African fighter. It's a commendable ambition. Does he need it? Or should he be doing it? The fact is, he can't resist it. It's in his blood.
And what of Joe? Would you say that has to be it for Joe, or do you think that
Well, he's been saying he can't keep, as I said, taking this kind of punishment. Well, the only way it's going to stop is if he stops, because he's not going to do anything to stop the blows raining in. That was proven by the giant panda, wasn't it, in China? And it was proven with Derek. I mean, he took... I sort of wrote one line which said, some of the blows taken by both of these guys would have knocked out any other heavyweight. What I should have put in was comma, assuming that they landed, because both have slowed up so much that I don't think either of them would land any of those shots on Alexander Usyk. He would not be there to be hit like that.
Right.
But anybody who'd been hit like that could have been knocked out by any of those punches. These are two guys who are prepared to put everything on the line, prepared to risk their health, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think the brain scans are going to make very pretty viewing after that fight. I didn't really ponder that too much until heading for home. But as you head for home in the early hours of the morning, I thought, should we be watching this and being excited by it. What does that show about us? Are we somewhat more primitive society than we imagine?
Moving on, Jeff, but we'll keep with the Queensberry theme. There are reports emerging that Frank Warren may be looking to strike or close on a deal, moving Queensberry Promotions to DAZN from TNT. What do you know about that situation, and what will it do for the health and the visibility for boxing if we're left with one main promoter on the terrestrial form in the form of Boxer and Sky Sports?
I don't think it does much for us, but it's part of the thing of His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh beginning to become more powerful in the world of boxing. His Excellency has a kind of fondness for DAZN. He regards that as his favourite outlet. So this is, out of this triumvirate of Frank and Eddie and Turkey, this is a coming together of a force which is hoping to become super powerful in boxing. Now, the conflict between promoters has been an impediment to very good fights being made down the years. You know, Frank wouldn't want to give a fight to Eddie's fighter and vice versa. And you go back further than that to the old days, and that was also the case. So in a sense, it would be nice to have everything under one umbrella. But the question is, who's going to develop the younger fighters? And then there's the question of visibility. The public don't seem to be eager to buy any more extra pay-per-view channels, feeds, outputs, red buttons, whatever they are. I mean, we're watching the Olympics now, and the BBC don't appear to have any any full content. We used to watch the BBC Olympics. You could press a red button for whichever sport you wanted to watch at any time. You could watch everything. Now, you've got hours of clairvoyant chatting to people and limited action because a worldwide conglomerate, TV network conglomerate, have taken over the rights for Britain. And Eurosport are getting more of the Olympics on. Now we go to DAZN. Do people really want to subscribe to Sky and everybody else and DAZN? There's been no great uptake for DAZN, so the visibility is liable to drop off. Also, who's going to produce the opponents? Are they going to sign? Is Turkey going to sign everybody? He's talking about a two-tier league of fighters. Where are the champions of the future going to come from if there's no television money coming in from it? I think a monopoly is always a problem. The problem has been that the rivalry between promoters has been so personal and intense and at times frankly ridiculous that the best fights haven't been made. Somewhere in there we've got to try and find a happy compromise.